Oh, good morning, Commissioner. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Okay, we are live on the air here, Commissioner, and we appreciate your time here, and we appreciate you speaking with us live on the air. We are watching live cameras here on the 190 especially, and we've seen live cameras with the 90 as well, and there are tractor trailers that are still on the thruway. Can you give us an update about the Thruway Authority's ban of commercial vehicles on the thruway?
Yes, there is a commercial truck ban on the thruway that is in place right now from exit 46 to the Pennsylvania state line, and that includes a portion of the 190. And so what we're trying to do right now is work with state police and the Thruway Authority. They are out there enforcing and making sure that tractor trailers abide by that truck ban.
Okay, Commissioner Dominguez, you are in charge of the DOT and in charge of the thruway.
No, just the DOT.
Okay, just the DOT. That's fine. I appreciate you. When it comes to a travel ban, why wasn't this travel ban issued earlier?
So the ban has, with every storm, the ban shifted. And the long and the short of it is that we do have travel bans in place now in areas south of Broadway, in South Buffalo, to include Kaisertown, Lovejoy, Old First Ward, and certainly the bans that were in effect earlier this morning in Lackawanna, Cheektowaga, Lancaster, West Seneca, Orchard Park, and Hamburg remain in effect. And all of that gives us time, as well as the county and the city, to help clear roads and make sure the people can, if they're out and about, they can get home safely.
Okay, well, let's talk about the people who are out and about right now. What do we need to know? And I understand that the ban has shifted, but how do we make these decisions ahead of time to make sure we don't have people getting out into this weather and then getting stuck, as you're saying, state police are now out trying to help?
Right. We have, with every storm, like I said, it's slightly different, but the bottom line is we do everything we can to anticipate what the weather's going to be, where these bans are going to set up, and lake effect is, as you all know better than anybody, a very unique creature. But with that, we try to do everything we can to coordinate with the city and the county on how those bans are going to come into place, whether that's on the thruway or on the local road system.
Commissioner, I wonder, because there was so much coordination over the weekend when we saw all of those travel bans, especially in Erie County, why wasn't the same thing done here for this storm?
It has. We've been in constant coordination, I can tell you, all through the overnight hours with the county and the city.
Can you elaborate on that? What is that coordination? Because we didn't see a travel ban in South Buffalo until late in the morning. We just saw a couple of alerts come through from the state and that iPause system. Is this too much, too late?
I think that we're doing, the level of coordination has occurred directly with the county and the city and the state. Just like you saw the iPause and the emergency alert systems go out this morning, we did the same thing over the weekend. We're trying to make sure that we communicate across the board with as many people as possible as all of these traffic restrictions go into place.
Now, I understand the thruway isn't under your jurisdiction, but I have to imagine you've been in some sort of conversation with the people who are operating the thruway, running the thruway. Is there conversation about shutting down the thruway to everyday drivers, not just those commercial trucks? And when might we hear some information about that?
So what we're looking at doing is making sure that people can move safely. And right now the thruway is plowing very aggressively. They, like state DOT, we surged resources in additional resources. So all the resources that we had, plows and people, that we surged into the city for last weekend's event, we added to them. So state DOT added an additional 25 plows, an additional 80 personnel. The thruway has done the same. So bottom line is the state and the thruway are trying to do everything they can to keep up with the snow to make sure that people can actually move through safely.
So is there any conversation about actually closing the thruway at this point to regular traffic?
The thruway, we're in conversation with the thruway, the county, and the city right now on all the current travel conditions. We've got additional calls now scheduled in the coming minutes here, and I'm going to actually have to jump to get on that call. But wanting to make sure that people can get home safely over the course of the afternoon.
Well, okay, so I before we let you go, and I just want to press you on this, Commissioner, because I think it's really important that we answer the questions of the viewers here that we've got on TV.
And this is their number one question this morning.
Right. Why wasn't the thruway closed to vehicular traffic? Why was the commercial ban put in place so late? And what is being done now for the afternoon commute?
We're looking at the afternoon commute right now, and you should hear some messaging on that in a few short minutes.
And in terms of closures, Commissioner, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so in terms of your conversations about closures, what are you expecting this afternoon? Will the thruway at any point close?
We'll look at the current conditions. We do look at, there's going to be an additional snowfall expected this afternoon, going through the afternoon. The concern that we have is that we're going to be seeing the winds are going to be picking up between 3 and 6 p.m. So that's our biggest concern, and that's what we'll be addressing in our messaging here in a few short minutes.
Okay, so in the next few minutes or so, we're expecting to hear more information about what might happen, especially for the afternoon commute, because we're actually looking live right now. We're watching the 290 in Delaware. I mean, these are snow-covered roads, so we just want to make sure we're asking the questions that our viewers want to hear, that there is the potential that we would see at least the thruway possibly close this afternoon.
What we're looking at is to make sure that we take a look at the entire system, certainly from the state perspective, but do that in coordination with the county and the city, recognizing that this afternoon the weather conditions are going to increase again, certainly in terms of wind speed and snowfall rates are going to continue.
Look,
so out of mind, we'll do everything we can to make sure everybody stays safe, and that includes restrictions on the roadways, and look for additional messaging here within the hour.
Commissioner, I want to just kind of put this into layman's terms. If you were in the position to close the thruway, would you do that right now?
I can't speak for the thruway, but I will tell you that we do everything in coordination, because once you have an effect on one significant piece of roadway, we all know that it impacts every other piece of transportation infrastructure, which is why the level of coordination that we do. If you close the thruway, you know the ripple effect that goes trucks and commercial traffic, as well as passenger traffic, go immediately onto the local roadway system. So part of what we tried to do this weekend was coordinate all that. That's exactly what we've been doing today with this unexpected, but significant snowfall that we've seen in the overnight hours, and then preparing for the afternoon rush.
Commissioner, I just want to, before we go to break,
I'm going to have to go. I apologize. Thank you very, very much,
okay.
And I appreciate the opportunity to join you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Commissioner Dominguez talking about how this was unexpected. This wasn't unexpected.
Right.
We had been talking about this, and it's so interesting. Of course they have to go, and of course they have to make sure that they are on another phone call, and that's fine. But our leaders knew about this over the weekend.
Right.
Our leaders knew about this while we were on the air with you on Sunday morning talking about this.
Sunday morning, and then how about yesterday when we were saying there's another foot of snow expected for most areas, 1 to 3 feet for most areas across Western New York.
Where these administrators, these commissioners come off saying that this was unexpected when we now have state-of-the-art equipment in Albany predicting minute by minute how these storms are going to impact all of us is unbelievable.
All right, so we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you. If you're on the stream, we're staying with you. Our television viewers, we're taking a break, and we're coming back after that.
So we're going to take a 3-minute break on TV. It's so interesting, and you can join the conversation. You heard with us in real time, frankly, a lack of answers.
And I think people realize that, too.
Right. So, look, on one hand, government can say, we're keeping you safe and close and create bans and be criticized for that. On the other hand, it's personal responsibility. If you don't feel safe going out, don't go out. I see both sides here. I just don't understand how they can say that there was such a level of coordination between all facets of government when we saw those iPause messaging system messages come out so late in the morning when on Sunday they came out so early. They came out even on Saturday morning.
Well, and then especially to see travel bans put in place in different areas by 6 o'clock this morning or in the overnight hours, and then to see that we're still waiting to hear from some areas that potentially will put something.
People wondering, where is the governor? The governor's in Albany. The governor on her public schedule was in Albany. We should also point out the mayor is going to be speaking at noon, or at least the DPW crews are going to be speaking at noon. Unclear if the mayor will be involved in that. But we'll carry that live for you both on air and online.
Well, and let's also keep in mind here, we were on throughout the morning commute, which is when we saw the most cars going out on the road, right? People maybe trying to get to work. We have an afternoon commute that's coming up as well. And that's what we need to start really focusing on. And it sounds like that's what their attention is going to be focused on now. Should have been focused a little bit earlier. That's the question.
Okay, so you're looking live at the 190 at exit 8. This is Niagara Street. That tractor trailer is still there. We see plows going by. The tractor trailer ban is in place through exit 21 on the 190. Alicia, thank you so much. Excellent questions, making sure our local leaders answer if they knew why they take so long. Right? That's my question. That is genuinely my question. We had all of this ready to go on Sunday, and now all of a sudden today, it's like, oh, what storm?
Yeah, unexpected. Mary says, how can she say unexpected when all the conversation was taking place?
The woman we just had, Commissioner Dominguez. We should let you know that the Peace Bridge is closed to U.S. inbound trucks until further notice as well. You're looking live at the Peace Bridge here.
Are we on a commercial?
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are at 10:22 on the start of your Wednesday morning. We're doing this special edition right now of Good Morning Buffalo. We've been staying live with you throughout the morning to make sure you have the very latest when it comes to what is happening in Western New York. You're looking live right now at the Peace Bridge this morning, and here's why. There's, again, that commercial ban we know on the 90 from exit 46, which is near Rochester, all the way to the Pennsylvania line. And now the Peace Bridge, U.S. bound, is closed to U.S. bound trucks until further notice.
You just heard from Commissioner Marie Dominguez, who is the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation. She doesn't speak for the Thruway, but works very closely with the Thruway Authority. And what you heard was a complete lack of answers. We wondered, as many of you were, about Thruway closing because we know that there is a commercial vehicle ban on the Thruway right now from on the 90 from Rochester to the Pennsylvania line and the 190 to exit 21. We were asking the questions, why wasn't that commercial vehicle ban issued earlier? We were on the air with you at 4:30 this morning, and it was probably about in the 6 o'clock hour that travel ban was issued for commercial travel. Why wasn't that done earlier? We asked the question. Well, they are responding. They are doing everything that they can to help and mitigate circumstances based on where that ban is going. And what she said was frankly unbelievable, that this storm was unexpected.
Right. Now, again, important to point out, she does not speak for the Thruway Authority, so we can't ask her, is it going to be closed? We did ask her in her position, which she has a lot of experience to be in that position, would she close the Thruway? And she declined to answer.
So when you hear somebody from New York State say that this storm was unexpected, your mind is blown, because the governor has just instituted this state-of-the-art facility in Albany where they are supposed to be able to track and realize the severity of a storm before it hits real time. And it does not appear, based on what the commissioner of the DOT says, that was done.
Well, it does sound right now like they're having those conversations, because we keep talking about how we have an afternoon commute happening. I mean, we are looking live right now at the roads, and you're still seeing
That's the
cars
190
driving.
to the 290.
You're still seeing cars driving. We're still seeing tractor trailers driving. Yeah. So Aaron Mankowski's with us. He's been tracking this throughout the morning. Aaron, let's talk about this snow ban right now. Answer the questions that people need to know as far as their rest of their afternoon today.
Oh, it's snowing?
Oh, it's unexpected too.
You know, the warning called for 1 to 3 feet of snow, I'm just going to say. And Edward, I do appreciate you asking the hard questions. You too, Katie, and you know, saying, hey, we did let you know what was going on. As we're checking out the radar right now, I have that line on the screen. Notice the heaviest snow was just south of that line, now inching northward. The band is may move north another mile or two, but that's about as far north as it's going to go, stretching from Niagara Falls over toward Lockport, mostly south of Route 31, and then Buffalo over toward the 90, toward Batavia. North of that, that's where you have the heavy snow. In that snow band, 2 to 4 inches per hour. The band now making its way into North Tonawanda, near Wheatfield, Niagara Falls with some light snow. Again, over toward Lockport, South Lockport, the snow coming down a pretty good clip. Same thing with Pendleton, Gatsville, the southern edge of that snow band now through Cheektowaga and Clarence. Finally, Lackawanna, Elma, Marilla, you folks can dig out a bit. The snow piling up, though. Grand Island, Kenmore, Tonawanda, NT into Amherst along Sweet Home Road, the Boulevard, Colvin, Kenmore Avenue along the 190, the 290, Nash Road, and then you make your way through Grand Island, like I mentioned. Those north-south roads with that wind whipping from the west will visibilities will greatly deteriorate. East Robinson, North French, along the Boulevard, hardly see a thing right now. We took a closer look into Amherst by the North Campus. There's Sweet Home, Willow Green, Evergreen Drive, that Boulevard 290 area. Oh, what a mess right now as that band. It's going to kind of hang out in this area through around lunchtime, and then notice it shifts back southward as we get toward the afternoon commute, and then strengthening a bit, shifting further south after around 11, and then as we head toward tonight, the band is south of Buffalo. Not good news for Hamburg, Orchard Park, South Buffalo, West Seneca, and then the band moves back north, late morning commute, and then further north Thursday afternoon, finally coming to an end. Remember, this warning, which was issued a long time ago, is in effect through 7 p.m. on Thursday.
All right, hang with us on our streaming. We're going to take a quick break on TV. We'll be back shortly. Now, here's an interesting point that Dave has, and he's not wrong here, because this is what happened during the blizzard. You shut down the thruway, and everyone gets stuck on that alternate routes. That's what happened in Newstead, Clarence, and the area.
But here is what happened on Sunday. They shut down.
You think about it ahead of time.
Exactly.
That's what you have to do. You have to think about it ahead of time. And Dave, you're not wrong. That is exactly what happened during the blizzard. And I spoke to a number of people in Newstead, spoke to the emergency manager there, spoke to the snowmobile groups that were out helping rescue people. And that is what happened. People got off the thruway because of the ban, and then they got stuck there. But that's why we have to be thinking.
But definitely one of the cards in the political handbook is when in doubt, blame the forecast.
Right. Really.
So I'm kind of numb to this. I see it all the time. Yeah.
We were on the air with you on Sunday morning, and we were asking all of these officials that we had, okay, what are you doing to prepare? What are you doing to get ready? They all knew about the storm, but also the commissioner of the DOT says this is unexpected.
I remember my huge graphic that said round 2 on the way.
And all day yesterday, we were telling people 1 to 3 feet of snow on the way, starting, today through Thursday.
Because the warning started yesterday at 1 p.m. Watching the Niagara Street, that tractor trailer still on the right shoulder, 190 south by Niagara Street.
This one right here. There. That's it.
Yeah, and then we saw the person get out of the car.
Yep. I think it was a tractor trailer driver, maybe, because it looked like he went back in. It was hard to tell, obviously.
Boy.
Schools took it seriously. Yeah, right. We saw schools closing yesterday.
I had a number of superintendents be texting me yesterday, are we closing? And my answer was very short. Yes. You don't have to overthink this one. You have 1 to 3 feet of snow. What we don't want is what happened in 2001, where those kids get stuck in the buses. So that's why they were very preemptive at closing. What's that?
West Seneca too.
Yeah.
Stand by. We've got about 10 seconds. I know. I'm cold.
Can we flip that switch? Here we are, everybody, 10:30 on your Wednesday morning as we continue to follow this winter weather for you. A special edition this morning of Good Morning Buffalo as we're keeping our eyes on the roads and to the skies for you. Ed's fired up this morning.
You know what? And I think rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think you speak for a lot of us, Edward.
We just heard from the New York State Department of Transportation Commissioner, one of Governor Hochul's commissioners. And Governor Hochul, by the way, is in Albany this morning. We haven't heard anything from the state, anything from her office about this storm.
She just tweeted, but just really what Mark Poloncarz had tweeted, just the areas that are travel advisories, travel bans, telling people to monitor the forecasts.
But we did just hear from the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation. We asked the question, would you close the thruway if you were in the position to do so? She wouldn't answer.
Right, and we
Look
said
at the camera bouncing around.
Okay, we understand
Fair.
she's not responsible
Right.
for the thruway. Okay, we understand that. But, I asked her, you have to be having conversations with them, right? Because all of these organizations work together. Yes, they have. But then she wouldn't go on to elaborate about what those conversations would be. She did tell us to expect an update within the next hour.
And here's state bureaucracy at its finest. One department doesn't speak for the other, but there's a level of coordination that they can't speak to. And so when you hear that this was an unexpected storm, in her words, not mine, not yours, hers, the commissioner of the New York State Department of Transportation said this was an unexpected storm. It is impossible for us to go on saying
It's impossible to agree with that.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Because yesterday, earlier this week, Sunday, we were live on air with you, right? Getting you through that first storm. And then yesterday, as we were telling you about this storm coming that day, and then yesterday we were really hammering home 1 to 3 feet of snow for most of western New York. Aaron was tracking it for you, so it was not unexpected.
It's not a hit job on the commissioner. Mike is saying she did not know the storm was coming. She said it was unexpected, and that's verbatim what she said. We have to make sure that we are keeping each other safe here. And the travel advisory is in place right now on the thruway until further notice, meaning no unnecessary travel. There's also that commercial vehicle ban on the thruway from Rochester to the Pennsylvania line and the 190 to exit 21.
You know what, John? Let's pull up that one traffic camera that we've been keeping an eye on where that tractor trailer is stuck so we can show people exactly why we do have that ban right now for those commercial vehicles. Meantime, there are those travel bans.